Welcome back. It's time to try the light cruiser. So the primary role for this one is a close range torpedo attack. In the earlier eras you'd just be using torpedo boats or destroyers, but when you start getting to this time period you're better off using the light cruisers for this role. So I'm going to take two because there's a chance that a battleship's going to land a heavy shot and cripple the first one. And obviously, cost wise, their battleship's going to be a lot more expensive than my light cruiser, so I'd definitely be able to afford two to their battleship. So my light cruiser costs 50 mil. I'm wondering whether my power projection battleship is that expensive. Just have a quick look, sorry guys, I'll get back to it. 76, wow, look at the cost for a battleship. As you can see, if you build out a power projection ship, you can build them incredibly cheaply. Usually they'd be like 200, 250 mil, and I managed to build one for 75. We'll have a look in this battle to see how much the enemy battleship is. But I'm guessing it's going to be around the 225 mark. Okay, so with short range torpedo strikes, never use formations, they're just so bad I can't even explain. Just detach your ships and set them onto follow instead. It does virtually the same thing as a battle line would do, but with the ability to just select a ship and move it out without messing about with any of these formation buttons. It also means that if a torpedo's coming in at you, you can evade with these other ones, not just the lead one, without using this terrible new feature, if you want to call it a feature. I don't know what you should call it. Something you should avoid, that's what I'd call it. Okay, so we're just going to turn the torpedoes off for now so they don't fire too early. With these small ships, you can just put them on to HE immediately if you want. You're going to have better success with HE rounds. You're not going to penetrate very often with 7-inch guns against a battleship especially. So it doesn't look like the enemy's got torpedoes of their own, which is good. So all we're going to do is head straight towards them and then fire off all our torpedoes and then get out of there. What you would then do in a battle is send these ships back to your battle line while they're reloading, and then once they've reloaded, go back in for another strike if they're still seaworthy. There's a chance they might have had their engines destroyed and that on the first volley, but if they're still in good condition you can get a second strike off with them. Unlike destroyers, which usually as soon as they get close to enemy ships they get absolutely hammered. Okay, so we've got 35 knots, the enemy's got 21, so we'll be able to close the distance really easily. And oh, he's only 60 mil? Wow! In the last battle that I fought with a battleship at this era, he had 230 mil. I wonder if they've started trying to make it equal to what you're fielding. That's really interesting, that is. It's actually cheaper than my power projection ship. 34,000 tons. That's really odd. It's not far off the cost of mine. How can a battleship be almost the same price as a light cruiser? I don't know what on earth they've skimped on for that. They've even got turbo electric engine. That's very odd. Okay, so now we're getting close. You can fire one volley off early if you want to get them to start turning, and then once they start turning you can fire the rest off. Or you can just get as close as you can before you fire any. Now, because this is loaded out with an absolute stupid amount of torpedoes, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 launchers on each side. I can quite happily just fire them off early. So I'm going to get one load fired off just to get them to start turning. Wait to see which way he turns. Go the same direction that he's turning. And then fire all the rest of them off. So as you can see, as a torpedo boat, the light cruisers are fantastic. Now, because that was such a strange battleship design, I'm going to do exactly the same thing again. Add in a battle cruiser, see if we get a more sensible matchup, because that was just a weird battleship, that was. A battleship that's almost the same cost as a light cruiser. So same thing again, turn your torpedoes off, set your ships to HE, take them out of formation and put them into a follow pattern. So if you had even if you had 25 ships, you just have to set each one manually. You can select all 25 and just click somewhere and it will do the same thing, but it won't designate which one your lead ship is. It will choose for you. It won't choose the closest one to the place that you're pointing, which is very odd. And it won't necessarily put them in the order which is going to best get them to form up, basically. So same thing again, just close the distance, check to see if they've got torpedoes, which it doesn't look like they have. It looks like he's got a torpedo there, which is the battle cruiser. So I might want to try and take out the battle cruiser first, just to neutralise the torpedo threat. We'll see how we get on as we get closer to them. If you click this arrow up here, it expands their ships, which will then tell you what speed that they're going at. It'll only tell you once you've identified the ship though, which is why we can't see now. So as you can see, you can quickly select any ships without having to detach them, which makes it a lot easier to dodge torpedoes if you're not in a formation. And then you can just quickly tell them to start following each other again, so it's incredibly convenient in comparison to putting them in a formation and trying to use the the terrible AI features. Okay, so as we're getting close, which we are now, I'm going to fire off one set of torpedoes just to get him to start turning. Okay, I now know that he's turning to the left, so I can now turn to the left. Oh, it looks like I got hit by a torpedo. I didn't even see that one coming. I did not even see that one. I bet everyone else saw it. I bet it was so completely obvious, and it's always the case, isn't it, when you try and demonstrate something, you cock it up completely. Okay, so it looks like I've still got 2 torpedo launchers, probably on my port side, that I haven't fired yet. Oh, I can't believe I got hit by that torpedo. That is just so dumb. They're still really cheap, these battle cruisers and battleships. It's crazy. So as you can see, 2 light cruisers can make really short work of enemy battleships. And if if I hadn't have missed that torpedo, then I wouldn't have even taken any damage, hardly at all. Okay, so that's how you use short range torpedoes. So on the next video I'll be going into the long range torpedoes and showing you how to use them. Okay, take care guys, see you in the next one.